full tank, we're ready to go the distance. This is The Drive, AM 940 KYNO.
And with us in the studio are Jonny Cerbo, and Jonny's with Occupy Fresno and is one of the organizers of the event, and he's been camping out at Courthouse Park. And also joining us is Beverly Fitzpatrick, and she's the president of Peace Fresno, and she's a retired teacher and has gotten active in the Peace Fresno movement in the past year or so. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And Jonny, I'll start with you. Tell us about Occupy Fresno. For example, how long do you think you'll stay camping out at Courthouse Park, and what are you trying to accomplish?
Well, we're a group of peaceful protesters working in solidarity with the Occupy Wall Street movement in New York. That's where it started, and it's been sweeping the nation. It's in hundreds of cities nationwide and worldwide. We're here representing the 99% of Americans who feel like they've been treated unfairly by our economy and the 1% in power who control it. And right now we're just focusing on getting the attention of the public. That's the number one step, is getting people's attention and raising awareness for exactly what the problems are. There are so many people here with many different grievances, way too many to name, yet all these grievances seem to be stemming from the same issues, which are greed and corruption in politics and in corporate America. So we plan on occupying for as long as it takes to see some change in what's been going on, and we've got all kinds of events planned for the future. We want to make this a very family-oriented thing, open to all corners of the community.
And for you personally, I mean, you have felt this before the show. You told me that you came to Fresno from Redding with the intention of enrolling at Fresno State. You haven't been able to get financial aid and get going.
Yeah, it's been my dream to go to Fresno State for a while. My brother graduated from there. He's at UCLA now. But yeah, I've been studying music a little bit, and I wanted to make that my career path. And it's been so difficult to get established with financial aid and even just a simple job, even a minimum wage job. It's been impossible over the past year and a half that I've been looking.
So tell me what got you going? I mean, you saw Occupy Wall Street. It's making a splash, and did you just say, okay, we need to do that here? Take us through the process.
Well, for me personally, I didn't actually start hearing about it until maybe a week and a half after it had actually started in New York. I saw a few things online about police brutality in New York, and I'm like, oh, wow, that's horrible. Didn't really know what it was about, but then I kept hearing about it, and then I started hearing that it was this Occupy Wall Street thing, and that they're fighting against corporate greed, and I started to relate, really, because I'm starting to feel the things that those protesters in New York have been feeling, and it's hit me personally on a few issues, like with the unemployment and the education thing. But also, I'm very sympathetic with the type of people that it's hurting the most, like the homeless and the teachers who are losing their jobs and all kinds of people. I'm really sympathetic for that.
So tell us about what's been going on at Courthouse Park, and give us a sense of the variety of viewpoints that are being expressed and reasons that people are coming out.
Well, like I said, there's people coming from all corners of the community. It's really great to see so many different types of people coming together peacefully. I mean, the media is kind of trying to portray us as a very leftist thing, and there's only these types of people here, and it's not true at all. Honestly, I talked to so many different types of people in one night, and we all laughed and had a great time together. It's been a very, very peaceful thing.
So do you get any sleep, or are you awake through the night?
Sleeping has been kind of difficult. We have a lot of run-ins with security from the courthouse, but it always ends up getting resolved, no problem. It's usually between the hours of midnight and 6 a.m. we have those issues. A lot of people end up only getting a few hours of sleep. I've been getting a little more sleep than most people, because I'm on my feet a lot, doing a lot of work, and I get exhausted. So I'm trying to get more
Now,
sleep.
some people are comparing the Occupy movement and saying it's a liberal version of the Tea Party. And, my sense is that they're both about frustration, though members of the Tea Party may have different politics than people that are in the Occupy movement.
Yeah, and I don't want to say I know everything about the Tea Party and how they started and how they ended, or even if
they haven't ended
Yeah,
yet.
no, they haven't ended. I didn't mean to say that. Sorry.
They got a lot of clout in Washington, D.C. these days.
No, I'm not going to lie. There is a little bit of more leftward leaning group of people here, but it really is involving all different types of people, and it's not so much a left versus right thing or Republican versus Democrat thing. It's about a 99% of America thing. This is a big issue that's affecting everyone. It's not. There's no one way to fix it. There's many different ideas, and we just need to come together and raise awareness for it so we can start thinking about how to fix this.
And you know what, Gail? We need to take a break, and we need to get Beverly involved as well. So we'll take a break. You're listening to The Drive, and it's 4:29 on your commute, and we hope you're having a great one. We'll be back right after this.
Hands attended to, check. Eyes straight ahead, check. Seatbelts buckled, check. Get ready for The Drive, AM 940 KYNO.
And one thing why KYNO is different than other AM talk radio stations in Fresno is we welcome all viewpoints on the show. And while we were away, we heard commentary from Bill O'Reilly, and he said that members of Occupy, the Occupy movement, are trying to tear down America rather than improve it. And I think O'Reilly's totally wrong about that, and I suggest he get out of the studio. Get off his big stool and go out and actually talk to somebody instead of pontificating. But that's just me. And Beverly Fitzpatrick, you're president of Peace Fresno. And give us your impressions of the Occupy movement.
Well, I was pretty excited about the first Occupy movement that I heard about was October 2011. And I heard about that at Peace Fresno because David Swanson was a promoter, and he was online promoting it, and so I got right on the website and checked it out, and I thought, ooh, Occupy Freedom Plaza in Washington, D.C., what a better place to get our message across. So I brought that back to the group and said, I'm going, anybody else joining me? And so we had Camille Russell right away. She was the past president of Peace Fresno. I just was elected 2 weeks ago, I think. And so anyway, the two of us were going, and then we had a gentleman step forward. His name's Ed Castro, a community member, who said he wanted to go. And then at the very last minute, Nancy Waitlow, who's part of WILF and a few other things, she decided she would go. So there were four of us, and we said right away, too old to sleep in the park, but we will stay in a hotel nearby. So we stayed at the Hotel Harrington, and we walked right 2 blocks and got to the plaza. So was exciting.
So give us some of your impressions.
Oh, wow. There's a lot for me to tell. But we were there 6 days. I should let you know that. It started on actually the 5th with a rally at a restaurant called Busboys and Poets. And that was a great rally with lots of people, standing room only. And they gave us the message. And then on the 6th, we were at the plaza, and there were so many people. Probably 500 that day, I would say, with the kickoff rally. And then every day there were more people and more things to do. Every day there were rallies and speakers such as Chris Hedges, Ralph Nader, he was great, and then David Swanson. And so then after we would have marches, and they would tell us ahead of time, we're going to march to the Ronald Reagan building to have a rally about the pipeline and, things like that, because we did a great rally there for the tar sands pipeline from Canada to Texas. And, of course, we're against it because of the health issues, the water issues. And so we even got to sit in on a hearing for a little while. Very exciting Washington business. And then, of course, you all heard about in the news about the Smithsonian protest. I marched 63 years old, retired teacher, all the way to the Smithsonian from Freedom Plaza, and blisters to show it. And probably the papers didn't report it, but we had 800 people there or more, so it was pretty exciting. Yes, there was an arrest, but we had an infiltrator who kind of pushed we were a nonviolent group trying to promote peace, and we were there because of the drone exhibit, which we are against. And so anyway, it was pretty exciting. And then we also had a march one day to the Martin Luther King, the new memorial. And we hung out there for a couple hours and talked to the public and told them how we feel that our movement is right in line with Martin Luther King, a lot of his quotes, because we're looking for to bring it back to the people, and that the people need to speak.
So what do you think the federal government needs to do to change this economic situation here in the United States? I mean, I had a stat on the show 2 days ago that since 2007 or since 2008, actual average household income in America has dropped by 10%, and they say there's a financial recovery, but as Jonny has found out, right, there is no recovery. What do you think needs to change, Beverly?
Well, one thing is listening to the people. Remember, the whole thing about democracy is that the people rule, and we've kind of forgotten about that. So I think these occupations have shown that. Occupy Wall Street, Occupy New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, isn't that showing that the people are finally speaking their voice and getting the issues out there? Like I always say, the first step to a problem is awareness. So hopefully we're making people aware. And I know it's hard because a lot of people aren't on the internet reading all the stuff we are, but if they did, they would see that, just the wars alone. I mean, obviously, I would like the wars to end. I don't see any reason for them at this point, and I would like them to end. And I'm not scared like so many people. And I think the $1 trillion that we're spending, couldn't that be used for some education, to help people get out of this foreclosure crisis? Yeah. It would be great. And so that's one thing.
Let me ask you this, Beverly. Did you vote for Barack Obama for president?
I did. I'm disappointed at this point. Okay. But I have to tell you that. I didn't see another choice. I wanted some change, but I haven't seen that change he was calling for. And I think that's one thing we were saying at the plaza. Every day there was lots of groups talking, and I think that was a good thing. But everybody was talking about that. How can we help Obama change? And we want him to see that we want him to stand up for what we believe in, And in fact, Fresno has been sending out, I have a couple postcards I'll show you, that we've been sending to him. And Camille Russell passed out over 1,000 at the rally, at the occupation. I did too. So I passed out some too. So it was, hopefully he'll get the word. That's what I'm hoping.
It seems like the president's been more interested in keeping Wall Street happy
That's the way we look at it too.
The average American happy.
Yeah,
and Jonny, you talked about some goals or some things you would like to see occur coming out of Occupy Fresno?
Like I said, there's so many different grievances from so many different people. It'd be impossible to say all the changes we need to see. But to generalize, I guess we would like to see a lot more accountability and a lot more responsibility taken by these people in power who are only looking after themselves and profits and not for the people. That's just so wrong.
Well, I guess I could fire you up with this, and this broke today, and this is from CBS News, but roughly 25% of American millionaires pay a lower tax rate than millions of middle-class earners, and this is according to a new study by the Nonpartisan Congressional Research Service. I'm very familiar with Congressional Research Service. They are nonpartisan. They do a great job. This report was based on 2006 data, and it said a quarter of a millionaires, about 94,500, paid less than 26.5% of their income in federal taxes, while about 10% of